Okay, sorry about that, guys. Part 2. Had the phone call coming in. Have some people at the house and making sure that everything is set up at the house. So, anyway. So, the hypnotherapy. Oh yeah, the deep dive stuff. Oh, so for me. So basically, what happens with me is it's like narrowing down what I really need to be focusing on now, because like I have from my own is my business and things like that. It's like, okay, when are certain things going to happen? Well, here's the timeline from that. And so I would be like just drilling down on that, and it's just like, well, that's like way up the road. So it's like where to focus my energy now, which I have so much of. And then also I noticed what happened is that I will like the other day I was in yoga class. I'm enjoying yoga class. I'm doing like my goal was to do like 30 days of just getting centered and grounded in myself, hashtag PhD in me, 10 toes down in myself and all of that. And I really wanted to like lock in so that when I'm in that meditative state, that I'm in an aware meditative state. So that's the shift that I want to do. And it's so funny because I was listening to Sister Myra again and yesterday, and this was like I think I had listened to her on Brother Rich before on this other show. However, I didn't remember he asked her about meditation and what she does to meditate and how that works, and she was saying it just doesn't work for her. However, she had met a Virgo man, Virgo man. She had met a Virgo man, and he was able to, how she explained it is like, not only go into the meditation, but if any of you all have laid in bed and where you're awake but you're paralyzed and you can't move and stuff like that, and so he calls it walking. He's walking in the meditation. I can't remember the right word, but if you just DM me or reach out to me, I'll tell you exactly which video that is from Sister Myra, and I'll also point you to that one so you can hear for yourself. However, anyway, so basically, even in this paralyzed state, he's able to interact in that realm that he sees like in between, and get out of that paralyzed state. Now, there is a physical term. My sister, the medical person who knows all this medical stuff since she was really young, was explaining it to me. And so there is a physical term for it. At the same time, the great thing about is that all these different places and planes can exist in your life if that's what if that's what you want, if that's what you're interested in and stuff like that. It's like, so you can have those experiences. So if you have that kind of thing happen to you and you're just like, hey, I want to be able to move in this way. And so anyway, he can dream walk or meditate walk or whatever. Some kind of walking is what he calls it. He could do that. And so that's really interesting. So for me, from the reading that I got with Sister Myra last year on September the 3rd, my birthday is the 1st, so the reading was on the 3rd. I wanted the 1st. It was already booked up. Anyway, so from there, it was, it's like just I wanted to remember how to have access to more of my mind and ideas and creativity and all those things like that. I wanted more, way more of that. Like, they say you only use a small percentage of your brain and stuff like that or whatever. I want to have access to everything, and so that's my thing, because it's just like, okay, from what I know and understand about myself and see, now I'm looking at it on a greater level. Like, I want to exist in this other, in this other space. It's like easy to watch someone else and you're like, oh wow, this person did this, and and they're doing it. It's like when you're walking in your true self, those things are coming to you. So it's like I want to walk fuller, and I think Sister Myra calls it the I know. Like, okay, so you've gotten all this and all this, now you have to know it. And the only way you can know it is that you are walking in it, no matter what is existing outside of you or whatever. You have to know it for yourself, and no matter what someone says or does or this things, you have to know those things. And so that's what I'm looking at. So to be in that space with myself and comfortable with that space for myself. So I'm just on the surfboard, just gliding through, and then accessing that, because I know some things aren't going to come for a while, and I know I understand why. Like when I had my session with Sister Myra, I promise you, I hit the record button, I did all of that stuff, and guess what? Nothing recorded. And it's like, oh man. And so I was so disheartened by it, and I'm like, how am I going to remember all of that? And it's like, dude, you're remembering yourself, so you're going to remember. However, I just really wanted that, and I know for me, I would have just been meditating to it, just in it, just deep in it, playing it over and over again, playing it morning, noon, and night, playing it while I'm asleep, playing it while I'm awake, all of that. And then I see where that's not what it was meant for. Like, that's not what I needed to remember. What I needed to remember was myself. And so since September, as I started to get it, and as I started to remember myself, it's like, yeah, okay, that's great. Yeah, okay. So then with that, it's like, what energy am I in? What energy am I in? And so from that place of being in that energy, which is what I remembered, I needed to remember the energy of myself. And so from there, it's like always a constant, like, you veer off. Like, you could be driving straight in your car, but it's going to vary, even if it's like small movements, it's going to. So you could be going straight and you can have a great alignment. You're still going to be like doing those fine-tuned adjustments. So that's what's for me. It's like those fine-tuned adjustments, and they're just, they're just happening. Just do, fine-tune, happen. And they're not disruptive. They're not anything. It's like I'm just being myself, and I'm able to do those fine-tuned adjustments, and they're not even noticeable. It's like when you're yourself, nothing that's going on, nothing that's happening, all that stuff like that, that stuff has nothing to do with you outside of yourself, and not even responding to it on any kind of way, not even to say yes or no, agree, not agree, like any of those things. It's just like, okay, stuff's just happening. It just doesn't have nothing to do with me. And so from there, it's like, what do I really want to do? What am I really interested in? What do I want to create for myself and have for myself and put together, for myself, now that I'm in this space. And so I know that I can, like, I'll go do this and this, and it's not that won't be successful or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's good. And, I really want that, for myself. And back to the yoga teacher. So, the yoga teacher just kept on coming over to me in class, and I know sometimes it's a new yoga studio. I know sometimes that the teachers, when you're new, they pay you a little bit more attention because they're trying to get familiar with you and make sure you have no injuries or anything like that, or that you're okay. I mean, this is hot yoga. It's almost 100 degrees in there, and we're in there for an hour and a half vinyasa yoga. I love it. However, it's like, you die in that class. And so, I just took it all in stride. But then when she kept on doing it, it was just like, I spoke up and I said, I'm okay. And so then she moved on. And but I'm telling you, she was touching me, just kept touching me. And then she was, always whatever move and stuff that she was showing us in the class, she would come there and just be right so close to my mat. Like sometimes I couldn't even really move myself. If I would have moved freely to come up with the swan thing, it would have hit her or whatever. And I'm just like, okay. And then we had a seating position, and she just sat on the front left of my mat, and I'm like okay, like what is, like I'm trying to gauge the room and say, okay, is this where she just normally teaches from or whatever, which is okay. I'll know next time, because my thing in coming to class was for me. I want something specific for myself, and I want to be able to access that information for myself, and so that was the way that I was going to get it. Now the old me would have been like a different way. So at the end and I'll tell you what I mean by that. So at the end of the class, she came up to me and she's like, I'm sorry I intruded in your space. And then I immediately said, oh, there's that word. I'm like, I would not say you intruded on my space. I said, I appreciate you checking on me. You're the teacher. I appreciate you even teaching, stuff like that. And she, she was just stuck with, to me, like there's something wrong, like she did something wrong. And I said, no, I said, if you're available to see it differently, I see it as an even exchange. We were exchanging those energies and stuff with each other. Your energy came around mine to check on me because you're the teacher, whatever. That's what I received it as. And then I shared back with you that I was okay. So if you would allow that, me sharing back to you to just be, hey, you checked on me. I said I was okay. I'm good. Like the energy can move on versus like you intruded and did something or whatever. And so she's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can see it. I really should have asked before I touched you. She goes, but I just kept being drawn to you. She goes, I just felt all this love and all this energy coming off of you, and I just wanted to sit in it. I had to be by it. I had to sit in it. And I just was like, oh, okay. I didn't explain to her my side of it. I was just like, okay. I said, well, and then we talked a little bit more about living in DC and stuff like that. And it was like good. And so then when I said to myself, later on when I got in the car, I was just thinking about my reading that I had with Sister Myra, and how that what the yoga instructor said to me was radiating, already. It was like a reminder that I am that I do have that what I'm trying to remember. And it's like you're trying to remember something that's invisible. So it's like, okay, well, I see it on one hand and feel it on one hand or whatever. However, knowing that it's activated, that it's working. So, and I had a couple other things that happened over the time that was saying that was, hey, this is the energy that you're asking about, or looking for and stuff like that, and that energy is here. Like that energy is here now. Like you're good. That energy is here now. And so specifically for that energy also, it's like I want the energy. I want to be activated in that for a couple of reasons. Personal reason for our family, and then also the reason for I'm ready to do something different. It's just like, what am I going to be doing for the next 20, 25 years or whatever? I got all these things in place, in order. I'm good. Woo! All right. And then now I can move on to these other things. Like it's like when everything's just so good. You've done the work. You're walking out your work. You've done the things that you need to do to, like, that's what I was going to say. I would have, with the yoga teacher, I would have just tapped into her and then started to, oh, well, you need to feel the love, like, oh, all that. And then also I would have been tapping into that energy to where, like that usually would happen on the weekends. It's like during the week I'm this, and then during the weekend it's like sending out a beacon to everyone, and then people will come up and talk to me, this and that, or I'd be talking to them and sharing stuff with them, and it's just like, nah, I'm not, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not where I'm at. Those things I need for myself, or those things I want for myself, and it just happens so easily. So that's where it's just like, no, I just want to narrow it down to exactly me, because I could be like anywhere inside of these energies and just enjoying myself, and oh, this is my gift, and I'm just doing Reiki, I'm doing the tarot cards, and I'm just like, I could be all caught up, and 30 years could pass and it wouldn't even seem like a day passed, and it would be 30 years. And so that's what I know about myself, and it's like, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in myself every second moment of my own existence, and enjoying that. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm interested in, and that other people can enjoy themselves and do whatever for themselves, and that they will find those they'll find those spaces for themselves, and so, and they can. And if they don't have those spaces for themselves, it's only because that's not the timing. It's not the timing, or it's not for them, because it's just like no way that you cannot have those spaces for yourself, or not be in those spaces for yourself. It's like when it's time to have those things for yourself, and it will just happen. And so at that point, then it's like, if it's not happening, then what do you do? It's like, okay, then I just, if it's nothing more to do, then I just enjoy I enjoy the space that I've created for myself, I guess. I don't know what really the right word is, but however, if you know that you're like in a yummy, good place, you just feel good, stuff is just flowing, and you're looking around, I'm looking around, it's like, oh, what do I need to do? I need to work on something else, or do this. It's like, nah, you don't need to work on anything. You got it. You did it already. You got it. You did it. You worked on it. You're good. And so each person has that ability to do that, or have that for themselves, or something else. So you all know I'm just sharing where I'm coming from and my journey, and the thing that I see that people can get is just like, yeah, that's happening with Storm. Not I want what Storm has, or I want to do what Storm is doing, or anything like that. It's like, how can I be available to myself on that kind of level, that kind of intricacy and vulnerability and intimacy with myself, so that I can be like, hey, what do I really want to do? Do I want to move? Do I want to change jobs, city, state? Do I want to buy a car? There's like a million things that you could do, and you can look up and say, hey, this is what I want to do for myself right now. This is what I'm interested in, this is what I'm interested in for myself right now, and that's what I'm going to be doing and enjoying. And so those are the things. It's just like, okay, I'm ready to enjoy this. I'm ready to have this. And a lot of times, like I've moved several times, all these different things. And each time it's been like so wonderful. It's been like me taking another spiritual, it's a physical move along with a spiritual move. And I'm just like, man, it's just like shifting energies, even if it's like across the street or whatever. And before, when at our old place, I was like, I'm walking Bayshore with a purpose. I want to see a dolphin, I want to see a manatee, I want to see stingrays, I want to see all these things, not the sharks. And then, so when I would see the dolphins, when the dolphins would come, it was fine when they came by themselves. I noticed that, why am I interrupting the dolphin, wanting its energy to come at this particular time, when that dolphin has things to do? you know? And then why am I in the place where I need to see a dolphin? Like, what am I not seeing about myself that I need to have a reminder from a dolphin, you know? And so it's like, man, like, grow up, get it together, or spend some more time with yourself so that you'll know, so you'll know these things for yourself. And then those things are enjoyment. So then it got to the point where I was just enjoying whenever I would surprisingly see the dolphin come up, or that one, I don't know if I put it on YouTube, but the one where the dolphin just swam up to me and was waving and stuff like that and talking. So on its own. So those are like the delightful things. Or when the stingrays all come and they're like dipping, or then the fish, the little minnow kind of bigger fish, and they come and they swim, and like it's like enjoyment. Or one time I was all the way on the other side of Bay Shore on the top part, and looked over, and there were just dolphins just jumping in and out the water, like those kind of things. They're just like, like refreshing to your spirit, not needed to your spirit, not needed, like I need and have to have these things so that those kind of things, like I can reground myself, I can recenter myself, I can do whatever I need to do. Go ahead, person. I can do whatever I need to do for myself to have those kind of experiences. Like I am that energy, I am that truth, I am that experience, I am that yummy place for myself. And so now it's just like, now I want those things for myself, that they produce other things, like I can wake up every day and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing for myself, and that's what I'm enjoying about myself and my life. And it's producing. It's and it's not like a struggle, a battle. It's not like an exchange of do this or do that, or something else is gonna lose its way or lose itself if I do it, And so to just have everything flowing, and I'm laughing at my partner because he was bringing up, it was like a couple of weeks ago, and he was just bringing up all this spiritual stuff, and I was like, I'm always saying I'm not doing the Reiki stuff, I'm not doing that, because I don't see a purpose for it. I see where people are just finding themselves, and if they haven't found themselves, then it's not time for them to find themselves. And they will when it's time, and it's not no big deal that it's not now. Like, it's zero big deal that it's not now. Like, it's gonna be when it's supposed to be, So anyway, that probably was rambling again. However, I appreciate you all looking in and then sharing. So, all right. If you have any questions or any, oh wow, how did that person park? Like in 12 different parking spaces. Anyway, if anyone has anything, just DM me or on Instagram, Inside First, same as YouTube. So, all right, have a happy, wonderful day. Wholeness.